The Biography of Oliver Cromwell by Gabby and Tocton. In April 25, 1599, in Huntingdon, near Cambridge, Oliver Cromwell was born. He was the second son of the 10 children of Robert Cromwell and Elizabeth Stuart. He grew up in genteel poverty, not quite a member of the nobility, yet not a commoner either. Oliver went to the local grammar school and then studied at Sydney Sussex College in Cambridge, but his father's death forced him to leave before getting a degree. He returned home to look after his widowed mother and 7 unmarried sisters. In 1620, he married Elizabeth Bouchier, daughter of a merchant. Their marriage was long and stable and produced 9 children. Thanks to the connections to the powerful Montagu family, he was elected MP of the Huntingdon Parliament in 1628. However, in 1630, Cromwell suffered a period of illness and depression. At the same time, he also underwent a powerful religious conversion to the Puritan cause. He began to make his name as a radical Puritan when in 1640 he was elected to represent Cambridge, first in the Short Parliament and then in the Long Parliament. And this time he had quite a lot to say. During the first week of the Long Parliament, he had already made a passionate speech and become one of the most outspoken critics. When fighting finally broke out in 1642, although Cromwell lacked military experience, he created and led an incredible force of cavalry, the Ironsides, and rose from the rank of captain to that of a lieutenant general in less than 3 years. He convinced Parliament to establish a professional army, New Model Army, which won the decisive victory over the King's forces at Naseby, 1645. After the war, Cromwell was convinced that the King must be brought to justice and was one of the people who arranged Charles I's trial and signed his execution. England then became a republic called the Commonwealth of England. In the next 2 years, Cromwell crushed an uprising in Ireland, where he slaughtered the people of Wexford and Drogheda, and then defeated an invading Scottish army led by Charles II, son of the executed king. In 1653, frustrated with the lack of progress, he dissolved the rump of the Long Parliament and gave himself the title of Lord Protector of the Commonwealth, and began the Protectorate, the period ruled by Cromwell. However, in little time, what supposedly was a democratic commonwealth became a military dictatorship under a Puritan. Cromwell passed the 12 Blue Laws, which stated that dancing, gambling, theaters, pubs, and even Christmas was sinful and forbidden. If boys were caught playing soccer on a Sunday, they would have been whipped as a punishment. Swearing was punished by a high fine, though those who kept swearing could be sent to prison, and colorful dresses and makeup were completely banned. He split England into 11 areas. Each one was governed by a major general who was trusted by Cromwell, and his laws were enforced by the use of soldiers. By the end of his life, both Cromwell and the 11 major generals had become hated people. The population was tired of having strict rules forced upon them. On September 3, 1658, Oliver Cromwell died and was buried at Westminster Abbey. After abortive attempts by his son, Richard Cromwell, to govern as Lord Protector, Charles II was called back from exile to resume the monarchy. In 1661, after the Restoration, Oliver Cromwell's body was dug up and hung at Tyburn. Then his head was cut off and put on public display for nearly 20 years outside Westminster Hall. So, was Oliver Cromwell a hero or a villain? He remains one of the most controversial men in the British history. However, he had a huge influence in the government and social structure of today. Not only did he ensure that never again would a monarch of England attempt to rule on their own, but it is because of him we live under a constitutional monarchy.